Chris, my next question is for you, basically about the humor in writing. Obviously, like I said earlier, it's about towing that line. I think a lot of what your humor stems from is it's not. I mean, South Park's great. I'm sure you get constant comparisons to South Park, but they kind of rely on more on current events and like kind of pop culture almost. And you guys kind of have a sense of, I don't want to call it randomness, just like stuff that's funny just because it's weird or just because it's funny, right? Can you talk about that process and how you develop like a joke? Like take us into your writing room, right? Like what's the process of that when you guys are talking comics, shorts, or even narrative jokes in the video game?
Yeah, we actively avoid topical stuff unless we like it so much that we are going to do it. We find that those jokes will have a longer shelf life. I couldn't even imagine what it's like to going back to something like the South Park episode from season 7 and it all being about a current event that everyone's pretty much moved on and forgotten from. We have basically had that as a rule, quote unquote, with our comics and from the very beginning. And a lot of how we kind of do that and a lot of the atmosphere while we're in the writing room is it's just like it's a lot of riffing. You can start by talking about something in your life or something that someone brings up, and then you just get into sometimes hypotheticals, and then just goes back and forth and back and forth. It just starts as kind of just dogpiling to make each other laugh, and then by the end of that conversation, we kind of are like, oh, we can kind of say, oh, there's an idea right there, or it can just be a funny conversation that warms us up. And so that's kind of a lot of the process. It's the comic writing process can be like, we often do it together or by ourselves, and but that still kind of remains true, is just kind of rolling off what's in your head. I feel like if you try to say, I'm going to write a joke, you can often just unlock yourself.
I will say, like, that we really have just a fantastic team of writers. They're just an absolute pleasure to work with, and it feels unique to me, at least, because there's just no ego amongst anyone. It's just everyone wants to make sure the best jokes get in. So that's just whatever makes us laugh most is what gets in there. And a lot of times someone will improve another person's joke, and we're like, oh yeah, perfect, that's it. So it's just so much fun making each other laugh over the littlest things. How many jokes we have in the game just for talking to trash cans alone. It's just like that kind of stuff. It still kills us to this day. And having played this game and stared at it for nearly 4 years now, all of us we still get surprised by things we forgot that we wrote, and it still makes us laugh. So I think that's another thing that we're happy with, because like Chris says, if you make it topical at the time, it can be funny, but no one is gonna laugh about the Yokiro Taco Bell dog being referenced right now, let alone they might not even know what the hell it is. So
Oh, you saying, yeah, I was saying, well, we're something along the lines of like Shark Dad is kind of timeless. It's funny now and 30 years from now, like. Yeah.
A shark in a business who is never not funny.
Some of these things you guys put out, I'm like, what are they? I'm like, what are they taking and where can I get some?
We get that a lot. A lot of people picture our writing room to be like an opium den.
To be completely honest, teetotaler right here, so.
I mean, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole too much. Everyone has their favorite short. There's just certain ones that they get seared into your retinas. The beard one, where he touches the beard and it takes the life force. That one is like seared in my mind. I don't know why. There's no particular reason. Just like that was funny and weird at the same time.
I guess the visual impacted you. Yeah, for similar reasons. One that is like that for me is Le Telepathe.
Oh God, yeah.
Have you guys been approached? You guys have done comics, web series, longer versions of animated shorts, video games, card games. Have you ever been approached by Netflix, Hulu, any other film company to make a feature film or like a new media like a Netflix official or Hulu partnered series or anything like that?
Yeah,
Are you
there's
ever
been-
not having meetings about that? It seems like.
No, yeah, it's constant. No, it's constant. We talked to several about things like a feature-length movie of Cyanide Happiness or some of the other shows that we've made. But honestly, it almost seems at some points it seems a little counter-progressive because we put more animation than it's more of a runtime to do an entire season of a show than it is to do a single movie. But we've always, for example, we've always wanted to do like a musical, a Cyanide Happiness musical. And that would be something that would be cool for feature length. But aside from that, not any sort of deal that we were 100% comfortable going through with. We don't want to put the IP of Cyanide and Happiness in the wrong I guess setting arena, because not only can that just water down what we do and what we're trying to do, but it also can really catch people off guard.
Since you guys own your own IP, you don't have to report to any other kind of corporation or licensor because it's your own. Like, do you think that's an advantage when it comes to turned out across all your media, comics, shorts, and video games?
Yes, absolutely, and it just kind of time and time again it proves that having a little bit of that kind of freedom not only helps us improve things and have things the way that we envisioned, but it also keeps the process interesting for us. That's partly why we jump from medium to medium. Is it's interesting for us to try to write in this new way or make a card game, and that does a lot when you have everybody excited, especially in something with comedy or production. Being excited and inspired like that goes a really long way. So yeah, I mean, having that freedom helps us keep trying those new ventures.
Yeah, and just on, for me, I can say, having worked for other people before, the difference is, am I being too weird with other people? Whereas with these guys, is it weird enough? And that's a great difference to me. I love that.
You're not being pigeonholed, I think, is the time. We're not having to be forced to turn out something you don't want to do because they're trying to make some weird deadline or weird quota for whatever's popular at the time. I know there's certain companies that are just, they didn't want to do a board game, but it was hot, and their company behind them said you have to make one. This is what's hot right now. You have to do it. So it's kind of nice you guys get to pick and choose what you want to do creatively, which is a lot considering a lot of companies don't have that option.
Yeah, I don't think anybody here working on the game or any of the projects at Explosion would say they're feeling creatively stifled. So yeah.
And one of my last questions is because I have to ask it for Chris is, have you actually ever, or have any of you actually met and had like lunch or tea with Matt Stone and Trey Parker? Because I feel like you guys are very similar in terms of your humor and how you want to express yourselves, and you're not worried about being too raunchy or too political or
we were invited to the South Park studios a while back, and the intention was they wanted to meet us and maybe just get a beer together and see if anything clicks. And unfortunately the timing worked out where we showed up on the very first day of their new season and they got whisked away. But it was great to be able to get the tour and see the process and kind of hang out. It wasn't the casual, hang back and have a beer, but it was a really cool opportunity. And that's about as close as it gets. Hopefully there's another time where we could show up that's not, absolute chaos for them. Having a really busy day.